Chapter 18. It took a day for the raptors to leave. I had time to think while I waited. Looking back on everything, I realized that what I thought wasn't really important. What mattered was what I felt. Ever since I'd come to the island, I'd either played it safe or taken risks, gone the way of my father or my friend. That wasn't going to change. But I hadn't felt like I was a part of things here. How could I? I'd been running. I'd been hiding. I stared at the raptor claw. Looking at it, I knew that I had finally learned Dr. Grant's lesson. I had adapted. I had become a part of the island, and it had become a part of me. While making my way back to the compound, I stopped for the night, safe in the branches of a high tree. I watched the sun set, a fiery golden pearl hovering in the center of the far horizon. The trees before me were black, perfect silhouettes, the distant hills a soft burnt umber against a pastel orange and blue sky. Two forms moved on the crest of the far hill, a triceratops and a T-Rex. I was too far away to hear their confrontation. They were like ghosts rising from a mist, incredible shapes that were a part of the ever-changing landscape. They battled. The T-Rex finally backed down and ran from the Triceratops. The horned dinosaur turned and calmly walked away. Soon, both shapes melted away into the ridge. It could have been a mirage, a trick of my imagination, but it had been real. This was the beauty of the island. Nature is cruel, but it gives us a fighting chance, and, along the way, some incredible sights. I had found an amazing world to live in for as long as I had to live, and I could accept that. The next day I reached the compound. On the way, I inspected that abandoned water tanker in the swamp that I'd stumbled upon. It was a place I could easily defend, and it was large enough to live in. I decided it would be my new home. Time stopped for me. I was now like any other animal on the island. I did what I had to do to survive, and when I ran into trouble, I used my human intelligence as a weapon the same way a dinosaur might have used its spikes or tail. I don't know how many days or weeks passed from that point on, but one night I was on my way to the compound for supplies when I heard a voice in the night. A human voice. At first I thought I was imagining it, but I crept closer to the sound until I was certain. Yes, a man's voice! A rescuer? A part of me that had been sleeping for so very long woke at the thought. Hope flooded through me. Then I heard the sound of raptors. I took to the trees and came close enough to see a man 100 yards distant, trapped in the cracking branches of a tree just above a group of angry raptors. My heart sank. This man was no rescuer. He was the one who needed the rescue. I fished into my bag for the last remaining tear gas canisters and leaped quietly to the ground. I didn't yet know the man was Dr. Alan Grant, and I hadn't yet learned that my parents were not far away and in as much trouble as he was. As I put on my goggles, wrapped a rag around the lower half of my face, adjusted my camouflage jacket of leaves, and set off to help the man, I was certain of only one thing. Now and forever, I was a survivor.